It's the start of a new football season in Texas. The smell of freshly chalked football field as well as the excitement of the first kickoff of the season is in the air. Pleasant good evening to you. I'm Karl Schoening along with my color analyst Russell Dowden and our sideline reporter Stephen Strong. We're happy you tuned in to SHN Sports tonight for the 2018 Taco Shack Bowl between the McCallum Knights and the Anderson Trojans. The McCallum Knights made it all the way to the state semifinals before losing their first game of the season at NRG Stadium in Houston, while the Trojans enter tonight trying to bounce back from missing the playoffs in 2017. But tonight, Russell, both teams enter with a clean slate.
That's right. You know, Karl, they are both 0-0 here on week one, man. So it's a great environment, great scene down here in downtown Austin, live from House Park as the players approach the midfield here for the coin toss. But yeah, this is everybody's 0-0 this week going into tonight's game. So looking for some football.
It will be the coin toss here, and we will send it down to our sideline reporter Stephen Strong for the coin toss. Well, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. Stephen Strong is down there, but perhaps Mike not quite reaching at the moment. It looks like the Trojans have won the coin toss and elect to receive. So it will be a kickoff coming from the McCallum Knights here to start off this football game. McCallum Knights wearing their blue jerseys with white sleeves, silver helmets, and white pants. On the other sideline, opposite of us, it's the Anderson Trojans wearing their blue helmets with white jerseys and white pants. We will allow both players or both teams to line up on the sideline, and we will pause for the national anthem.
At this time, I'd like to ask if you would please stand and direct your attention towards the south end zone and our American flag. While the playing of our national anthem, it will be performed tonight by the McCallum High School Band. Ladies and gentlemen, the Star Spangled Banner.
Nicely done rendition of the national anthem there by the McCallum Knights band. And now as the dancers get ready to exit the field, the football players will enter it. Again, both teams coming into tonight's game 0-0, but the McCallum Knights 14-1 last season before falling in the state semifinal. The Anderson Trojans trying to bounce back from a 1-9 season last year in 2017.
Yeah, the Coach Adam Haynes for McCallum.
Coach Hunter for McCallum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, McCallum, they had their longest season, last year's most successful season in school history last year, getting deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, and they will go ahead. Coach Hunter, I believe, actually, I beg your pardon, is on McCallum's side here as McCallum comes to take out the field. Back deep to receive the kickoff for the Trojans will be Trevor Merrick, the senior wide receiver. Kicking it away for the McCallum Knights is Trinidad De La Garza.
We've waited for this moment. It's football time in Texas.
De La Garza lines it up just left of midfield at the 40-yard line. Breaks his huddle.
Featuring the McCallum Knights and the Anderson Trojans.
Lining up along the 35-yard line are the Knights, and a short 3-yard charge here from De La Garza. He sends it high and short, taken over by an upman on the right side, getting across the numbers across the 25 to the 30 and being brought down at the 37-yard line. The return there for the Anderson Trojans made by Corey Fulmer. And out comes the Anderson Knights, the Anderson Trojans offense. They're led by junior quarterback Karsten Grues.
Let's see what that offense can do against the defense of McCallum.
1st and 10 from the 37. And the rowdy Knights band right in front of us. They'll be playing all night. Play clock down to 3 already. Grues is going to have to hurry, and they're going to pick up a 5-yard penalty to start the season, delay a game, and we might see a good bit of that tonight as the beginning of the season. That's how it goes sometimes.
Again,
penalties are going to be accumulated tonight.
Yeah, Carl, that's not a good way to start your 2018 season with a 5-yard delay a game penalty.
So, 1st and 15 from the 32 as 4 seconds come off. A handoff here to Fulmer. Fulmer runs around right end, and he is taken down in the backfield at the 29-yard line for a loss of about 3 yards. The tackle will be made by Ben Barrera. Loss of 3 officially, 2nd and 18. The break of the huddle, and Grues goes under center. Sends Fulmer in motion. It's a fullback dive. The handoff up the middle. The big man Givens runs up the middle, and he's across the 50, the 40, the 30. Cuts back and goes to the 20, and he is brought down inside the 15 for a big gain.
Huge.
The first positive yards of the season made there by Tondrick Givens on the fullback dive. And, you know, that's a favorite play of mine on Madden because the defense isn't ready for it.
Yeah, there sure aren't. And that was a dive call right up the middle. Big yards. Looked like that was a... what was that, Carl? About 50-yard play. They're down to the 10-yard line.
They're actually at the 11, 1st and 10, so not quite 1st and goal. Grues hands it off. Fulmer gets the handoff and doesn't get much blocking, but he is able to pick up a yard to the 10.
Tackle made by number 54, Connor Boggs.
Connor Boggs with the tackle, and it'll be 2nd and 9.
And we go into the play, brings up 2nd down and 9.
I don't think the McCallum Knights defense was ready for that play. That dive play.
Yeah, that big gainer.
Caught him off balance there. Caught him.
Flipped it and was about a 70-yard run. Grues under center. Sends Fulmer in motion. Fulmer catches it on a pitch, and he is met in the backfield. Looks like no gain on the play, back to the 10. Brings up 3rd and 9.
Floyd Fulmer on the carry for the Trojans, brought down by number 3, Elijah Griffin. No gain on the play, brings up 3rd down and 10. Make that 3rd down and 9.
Play clock down to 15 here as we are in the opening moments of the 2018 season. Cruz will send Fulmer in motion, and he's going to fake the handoff and look to pass. He's under pressure, throws it into the end zone. Nobody there, and the pass is incomplete. Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that play didn't go anywhere quick there, Karl. That looked like a busted play.
Well, it was the first pass attempt of the season, and immediately Cruz was under pressure, and he tried to find somebody in the end zone, but just decided to find open space and hope a receiver could catch a lob. And instead now it'll be 4th and 9. The clock stops at 9:30 here in the first quarter. Although a flag comes in against the defense and half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down here. So
yeah, that is a first down.
Didn't quite catch the penalty, didn't see the flag come out, but it will put the ball at the 5-yard line. First and goal here for the Trojans as they catch a break.
Yeah, they got some life with that call. It's funny, I didn't see the flag there. But, yeah, Trojans catching a break with 1st and goal from the 5.
Trojans taking their time here again, but they have plenty of time on the play clock as they break their huddle. Bruce under center with Givens behind him. Wings set up on either side. Fulmer goes in motion. It's a handoff to Fulmer, and it seems like he stumbled in the backfield before being taken down. The tackle made by Sutton.
Yeah, the McCallum defense was all over that one there, Karl. Not a lot of room to go there.
They've been pretty keen on most of the running plays so far tonight, with the exception of that Givens up the middle. It's a jumbo set in the backfield for Gross. Gross hands it off to Givens. Givens tries to go behind his right tackle, but is wrapped up and brought down back at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
How big is Givens? He's a big boy.
Givens is listed as their fullback, and you can see why. He is easily, he's a little under 6 foot, but he's easily around 230.
Well, I think he was a little shocked even on that dive play himself.
With how much yards again, for sure.
3rd and 5.
Cruz under center. Fulmer goes in motion. The pitch out to Fulmer. They're going to try and take it wide. He's met in the backfield, and he is taken down for a loss back to the 10-yard line. And it's pretty much where they were before that penalty, a loss of 4 on the play, call it 5, and it looks like it'll be the Trojans going for it here on 4th down and goal from the 10. The spot somewhere between the 9 and the 10-yard line.
About 4th and 9 it looks like, but I'm surprised they're not bringing out the field goal unit here.
Well, first drive of the season, and you know, even if you turn it over, you have the Knights inside the 10.
Make them go 90 yards.
Cruz fakes the handoff to Fulmer, and he's going to run or Fulmer actually gets the handoff, and he is met in the backfield pretty quickly for a loss of 3 yards.
Yeah, he was met with a wall of Knights defenders on that right hash mark, Karl.
And yeah, that's going to be a turnover on downs, and the McCallum Knights had that big run from Givens to get on the other side of the field. As they entered the Knights side of the field, they weren't able to do much in the red zone.
Yeah, and you can hear that response from that Knights fan base as they made the turnover there on downs.
Those of you who are standing on those top seats in the stadium, we need to ask you to be seated or step down, please. Thank you.
So now coming out for the McCallum Knights, Cole Davis under center. He hands it off, and it's going to be Sutton coming around the right side. He's able to get away from one tackle and pick up yards across the 15 to the 16-yard line, and a gain of 4 yards on the play brings up 2nd and 6. Davis taking over for Max Perez, the senior graduating. And Now it'll be the junior Cole Davis getting an opportunity. He's in the shotgun. Set to his right is Jalen Sutton. Going in motion is Lewis. Faking the handoff to Lewis. The ball batted in the air, almost intercepted.
Almost picked off.
It was Andre Jackson almost coming up with the interception, but instead.
Yeah, it looked like a linebacker got his hand on the ball.
The clock stops at 6:52. 3rd and 7.
There is no standing along the fence line or the rails behind the teams. We need you to find a seat, please, for your safety. Thank you.
Cole Davis in the shotgun. 3rd and 7. First drive of the season here for the Knights. And it's going to be a keeper for Davis. He runs to the right and gets across the 20, picks up the first down by about half a yard, and they'll move the chains as the Knights get it all the way to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, he kept that's a quarterback keeper on there for the first down for the Knights. So first down for the year for the McCallum Knights.
A spread look here for the Knights. Davis will order instructions. He has 2 receivers on both sides. Sutton to his left. 1st and 10. Clock moving at 6:24. It's a handoff up the middle. Sutton is met at the line of scrimmage, is able to fight forward for about half a yard to the 25-yard line and brings up 2nd and 9.
Number 53. That's John by Orga. Gain of a couple on the play brings up 2nd down and 8.
Davis will instruct traffic here as he gets 3 receivers lined up on the left side and a single receiver isolated on the right side. Takai Statberry is lined up on the right, and Davis will take the shotgun. He keeps it this time, runs behind his right tackle, finds some room to run across the 40. He's at the 45, and he's brought down at the 50. The tackle made there by Andre Jackson, but the big gain picks up a first down and a lot more for Cole Davis and the McCallum Knights.
Yeah, he just kind of watched that linebacker there and had a big hole right up the middle there. Good run. Cole Davis, the keeper.
Davis will slow things down here after the pickup of the first down. The clock moving at 5:18. Trips left. 2 men in the backfield with Davis. It'll be a design quarterback run to the left side. He gets a good block, picks up 5 yards, and dives forward for the first down at the 40. It looked like Davis was about to be brought down on the tackle. He felt that pressure coming and sacrificed his own body to pick up a few more yards.
McCallum starting to move the ball very well here in the last few possessions.
Officials blow whistles to stop the play here for a moment, so the clock will stop at 4:51 here. Both teams looking to score, or both teams still scoreless here as we are only about 8 minutes into this game. And a timeout called by the Knights.
Yeah, this is the tiebreaker game of the Taco Shack Bowl here at House Park in downtown Austin, Texas. And kicking off the 2018 high school football season. We'll see what these two offenses can do, as this again is the tiebreaker game, Karl.
Yeah, both teams 8-8 in the past 16 seasons. It looks like a new center might need to be coming into the game for the McCallum Knights. Warming up is James Martinez, as he'll work with Cole Davis, and seems like they have the snaps in the shotgun set and ready, and perhaps that's what the timeout is about.
Yeah, maybe that center was injured. I didn't see that, but they are going with a new center. .451 remaining in the first quarter, scoreless. And the Knights are on the 40, driving.
Yeah, it's been a good showing here for the first start for junior Cole Davis. And Davis comes back out with 2 men in the backfield with him, 2 receivers stacked on the right side and a single receiver isolated on the left side. 1st and 10 from the 40. It's a shotgun snap, and the handoff to Jalen Stutton. He is met in the backfield for a loss of 1. The tackle made by the Anderson Trojans, Jelani Campos. Josh Hall was also in on the play, and clock moving here at 4:30 in the first quarter. 2nd and 11.
Yeah, the linebackers made a good play on that run play there.
3 receivers set up on the right side, 2 men in the backfield here with Davis. 2nd and 11 from the Trojans' 41-yard line. A handoff here to Sutton. He has room on the right side. He has the first down as he rolls across the 30-yard line. He was tripped up by Jackson, but the first down picked up by the Knights, and he'll be down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the players to watch in tonight's game. Jalen Sutton, number 21, the tailback for the Knights. I expect him to have a good game tonight.
Timeout on the field called by the Trojans.
Trojans will take a timeout to try and slow down the momentum of the Knights, and this is a little bit more of what we expected. It was a slow start the first couple downs back to the 10 after the turnover on downs by the Trojans, but the Knights able to find their rhythm and find the running lanes.
Yeah, definitely getting some lanes going with the running game. And Cole's been keeping the ball on a couple of quarterback keepers that's picked up a couple of first downs for the Knights here in the first quarter. So definitely picking up some rhythm for McCallum.
Couple timeouts burned already here. Overall, for the most part, only 2 flags. The delay of game to start the game before the first play from scrimmage from the Trojans. And then the Knights had a defensive penalty that we didn't quite catch. That it was a new set of downs in the red zone
it was a
for the
5-yard
Trojans.
That was
it was half the distance to the goal.
Oh, half the distance from the 10, that's right.
Yeah, and in that case, it allowed the Trojans another opportunity, a fresh set of downs to score. They were unable to, and they turned it over at the 10-yard line, and now the Knights have methodically worked their way down to the Trojans' 28-yard line. Out of the timeout, trips to the right, 2 receivers on the left, 5 wide here for Cole Davis. 4:06 on the clock, man goes in motion, that's Sutton, fakes the handoff, and now Davis will try to run off left guard. He is hit as he crosses the 25 and is able to push his way forward to the 24-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards on the play, 2nd and 5 coming up.
That was another keeper for Cole Davis. And just under 4 minutes in the first quarter left to play.
2 men in the backfield for Davis here on 2nd and 5, and he thought about pitching it to Sutton. Instead, he will just take the loss of yards in the backfield, a flag on the play. This is in the area of a hold, and it looked like that play didn't quite develop the way Davis was looking. He was probably looking for a little help on the option from Sutton. Sutton looked to block.
Yeah, that play looked a little busted there, and the Trojan defense on that left side was there quick. See what the call is.
It looks like it's an offsides call against the Trojans. So that will give a new set of downs here for the Knights.
Against the defense, that'll be a 5-yard mark-off, and it will bring up 2nd down and 1 yard to go.
In fact, I beg your pardon, it'll bring up 2nd and 1, so just shy of the first down here, but into the red zone for the first time this season are the McCallum Knights. Davis in the shotgun. Hands it to Sutton. Sutton has the first down as he crosses the 20, stumbles his way to the 15 after being tripped up, and the first down at the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Knights. Clock moving here at 3:15 left in the first. 30 seconds on the play clock.
It'll be 1st and goal to go for the Knights.
A couple substitutions come in here as Davis gets instructions from the sidelines. Shotgun for Davis. Sutton to his left, 2 receivers on both sides. Moving in motion is Darius Lewis. It's a handoff to Sutton. He tries to spin up the middle. He is met by a slew of Trojans and taken down. His forward progress marked at the line of scrimmage. So first and goal from the 10.
Yeah, Gang, he met a wall of defenders from the Trojans and stuffed that run, but bring up second down.
New game brings up second down and goal to go.
Two men in the backfield. A handoff to Sutton here as he runs left. He's able to evade one tackle, cuts back and gets into the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown for the McCallum Knights. And the first touchdown of the season for McCallum. With 2:11 left here in the first quarter, they take a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, that was a good, impressive drive, and Sutton had a good deal to do with that drive there, Karl. Sutton carrying the ball at least 6 times on that drive. I expect he'll have a really good game tonight. The junior, Jalen Sutton.
The point after attempt will be a field goal attempt from Trinidad de la Garza through the uprights and good. And McCallum Knights score the first 7 of the season on their first drive.
7-0 with 2:11 to remain in the first quarter. Your Knights go up and draw first blood of the 2018 season, Karl, and our Taco Bowl tonight, the Taco Shack Bowl.
Yeah, and it looks like they have the lead here to break this tie. It was 8-8 coming into tonight, and McCallum, fresh off of that season where they made it all the way to the state semifinals, looking to continue their momentum in the regular season and remain undefeated in these games where, you know, it's obviously not playoff season, but they're getting rolling.
Yeah, very impressive season, though, with McCallum last year.
Teeing it up for the Knights, number 14, Trinidad de la Garza.
Trinidad de la Garza will be held up here before he kicks this one away. 2:11 left in the first quarter. McCallum has Andre Jackson and Fulmer back to receive this kick, as there's a little bit of instructions being relayed here. Now De La Garza will line up. He'll take a short three-yard charge, kick it away from the 40. He sent it short last time, and he does the same here. Fair catch called for and grabbed at the 26-yard line by Riveras Whitley. And now for the second drive of the season, it will be Karsten Gross coming out with his Anderson Trojans.
Yeah, that was an impressive drive by McCallum, and we'll see what this offense of the Trojans can do as they come out here with just over 2 minutes in the first quarter here.
Gross under center. Gibbons behind him. The handoff to Gibbons. He goes behind his right tackle. He was able to pick up a few yards to the 40. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd and 6. You don't see it too often here in 2018, but a huddle offense on 2nd and 6. Clock moving at 1:40. Grooves under center. Grooves will drop back for a pass. Quick bubble out to the left side. It's caught, and now getting across the 40, down the sideline, across the 50, and brought down at the 44-yard line. Trevor Merrick with the bubble screen, working the first time that we see it tonight.
Yeah, that was a nice bubble screen to the left side, and the receiver broke free.
New set of downs, 1st and 10 in Knights territory.
Thank you.
That was a pickup of about 25 plus yards.
Once again, Nick Bailey at EMT, if you could report to
Bruce with 2 wings on either side. Givens behind him, and Merrick lined up on the left side. So handoff to Givens, goes behind his left tackle, and he muscles his way to the 42-yard line and picks up 3 yards.
What do they got Gibbons weighing in? We say that. Do we have his weight there?
No, we don't have his weight on the roster, but he's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He's packing a load there, bringing it right to the Knights defense.
Givens is listed as the fullback. There's a couple tailbacks we see go in motion every now and again, but Givens seems to be the main guy. It's a handoff here to Fulmer on 2nd and 6. Finds some room on the right side. Gets the first down more across the 30. Down the right side on the 20. Dives to the end zone. And he is brought down inside the 5.
Oh, impressive run.
A flag might bring this one back.
Yeah, the tailback broke free on that right side. The ref's got a flag down there at the 25-yard line, Karl.
It's a holding on the Trojans, and that's a spot foul, but unfortunately that negates probably the biggest run of the evening in terms of getting close to the end zone. Almost a touchdown from Fulmer, but Coy Fulmer, probably best that he didn't get into the end zone because it's brought back.
Somebody broke him free, though, on that right side there for Fulmer, and the refs didn't let that happen. Got a flag.
So 2nd and 1 now. .50 seconds left in the first quarter as the clock stopped after the penalty. Jumbo set in the backfield as Grews will hand it off to Givens. Givens picks up the first, and he's able to stumble forward to the 30-yard line and move the chains. It seems like when he makes first contact, he has the balance to pick up a couple extra yards and stay on his feet.
Yeah, he's more of the power runner, or the thunder of the thunder and lightning, if you will. He's definitely picking up a couple yards after contact.
1st and 10 from the 30. Gross under center. Givens behind him. Fulmer goes in motion and gets the handoff going around the left end. He is met at the line of scrimmage, but able to dive his way forward for a couple yards to the 28-yard lines, pick up 2.
Sweetly, the ball carrier for the Trojans, tackle made by number 3, Elijah Griffin, and number 30, Ryan Bonesteel. And with that play,
and the Trojans allow the clock to expire. We'll flip sides, and we'll be back here on SHN Sports. We're back here, start of the second quarter. It's the McCallum Knights leading the Anderson Trojans 7-0. Karl Schoening along with Russell Dowden. And a impressive showing here from Karsten Gross, who is the junior quarterback for the Anderson Trojans. No points on the scoreboard, but he's done a good job leading against this tough defense.
Yeah,
and he starts off here 2nd and 8, the start of the second quarter. Jumbo set in the backfield. Fulmer gets the handoff, goes behind his right guard, and is able to shuffle his feet to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 3 on 2nd down.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 3rd and short. And really, the sun's setting to the west. It's kind of the lights are coming on tonight. You can the vibe right down here in House Park in downtown is just great, Karl.
Oh yeah, historic House Park in Austin, Texas. 3rd and 5. Gross under center. Hands it off to Fulmer in motion. Fulmer realized he was under pressure, able to evade one tackle and duck forward to the 25-yard line and get the ball at the 24. Only a pickup of 1. 4th down now, and 4th and 4 here for the Trojans, trying to pick up a much-needed first down because you don't want to get behind 2 touchdowns to the McCallum Knights.
Yeah, they really need to execute a scoring drive here, at least get 3 or at the least pin these guys back deeper into the territory.
Gruce in the shotgun, takes a high snap, drops back for a pass, has open Whitley on the left side, across the 15 to the 10, looking for the end zone. He's able to get in, but loses the head of the football, but the end zone touchdown. The official at the end zone says that he didn't lose it until after he crossed the plane, and the Anderson Trojans have got a touchdown of their own on their second drive of the ball game.
Got a ball game here tonight, as the referee indicated that was, in fact, a score. The pylons knocked down, Karl, on that left-hand side down there, but the ball did pop out, but evidently not until after the ball broke the plane of the goal line. So Knights defense giving up a touchdown for the Trojans.
Derbyshire with the point after attempt. It is good, and we are tied at 7. 10:38 left here in the second quarter, and the Anderson Trojans show that it's going to be a game tonight at the Taco Shack Bowl.
Well, that's what we're looking for, Karl, is a game, and you know, this is a rivalry game. It's kicking the season off this year. These teams, long district rivals, but the districts have realigned this year, Karl, and so this rivalry took place as a first game, non-district game for the first time. So we're liking what we're seeing here tonight at 10:38 left in the second, and we got a tie ball game, folks.
That was a great play from Gruce to Whitley, and Rivas Whitley will go ahead and have all that space. You know, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time that we saw Karsten Gruce in the shotgun, and it might have thrown the Knights off a little bit.
Yeah, that was a high snap that he got, and then the receiver was out on the flat wide open. I don't know what the defense had, lost him on that, but I think that high snap threw him off a little.
Well, it was 4th and 5, and I think they didn't want to give up anything on the ground, which seemed to be the game plan for the Trojans coming in, to get all their yards on the ground. And that was the first catch of the season for Rivas Whitley, and he made it a touchdown run on a spectacular finish through contact at the pylon.
Well, just really a great play call by the Trojan coordinator. That receiver was wide open on the left side and just got in barely at the end zone there, tying this ball game up.
And number 25, Tino DePaz.
Macer will kick it away on an 11-yard charge. Sends this one end over end, taken by Dunas, and he's going to take it to the left side across the 25. And all those squats in the gym pay off as he fights forward to the 29-yard line, and that's where the McCallum Knights are going to start.
Yeah, he dragged about 2 or 3 defenders with him for about 4 more yards after contact on that one. And these guys are going to start at their 29.
So the game tied at 7. McCallum trying to answer back. They struck first on their first drive of the season, and now they're looking to answer back with a touchdown of their own. It's going to be Cole Davis coming out to lead this Knights offense. He is in the shotgun. Jalen Sutton to his left. The tuba is moving in front of us. And whistles will stop this play, hopefully to give you guys a better view at home.
The McCallum band making their way down to the field for the halftime show.
A false start, or excuse me, a delay of game, I beg your pardon, will be a 5-yard penalty there on the Knights, and 1st and 15 now the situation. Davis in the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield with him, trips to the right. 1st and 15, flag stop this play before it gets going. Usually this is in the motion of a false start.
Yeah, that one was blown dead pretty easily. Good call, Karl, false start. He's going to back up McCallum a little more.
False start indication against the offense. Markov takes the ball back to the 19.
It's been a rough second quarter for the Knights as not only do they give up a touchdown on 4th and 5, but now they start this ensuing drive with back-to-back penalties.
Yeah, a bit of a lull here for them, and we'll see what this offense can do here in the second quarter.
Clock stopped at 10:29, 2 men in the backfield here for Davis. He's going to hand it off to Sutton, who finds room behind his right tackle, and he's flipped in the air, suspended after picking up about 5 yards to the 25-yard line, brings up 2nd and 15.
Gain about 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9 yards to go.
Two men in the backfield here for Davis. He hands it off, running behind his right tackle and picking up 5 more yards and able to fight forward for 1 more at the 31-yard line and get back to that original line of scrimmage. +1 is the running back, Tino DePaz.
Yeah, they were going the wrong direction for a little bit there with those penalties, but they've got a chance here on 3rd down to straighten it out.
So it's 3rd and about 8. Ball at the 32-yard line. Davis in the shotgun. He's going to roll out to the left. He's under pressure, and he's going to find a running lane to the left side. And he is brought down after crossing the 35. The tackle made by the Anderson Trojans, Cameron Langford.
Davis comes up short of the yardage needed for the 1st down.
So that'll bring up 4th down, and for the first time this evening, we're going to see the punting unit.
Well played by the Trojan defense, really, there. I mean, they had a little help from the penalties going in the wrong direction for the Knights, but these guys are going to get a chance to have a return here.
Jackson will be back deep to receive this punt. De La Garza will kick it away. 4th and 3 if they decide to fake, but it looks like this will be full protection for the punter, and flags blow this play dead before it starts. Perhaps more penalties on the McCallum Knights on this drive. A delay of the game.
Yeah, that's going to back them up 5, Karl.
Which is a shame because, as we were saying, Jackson was already pretty close to that 50, and now De La Garza is going to have to really put his boot into it. Well, any thought of a fake here is the first time the punting unit for either team comes out.
Well, there are
go away.
8 yards to go. That'd be a...
Not anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
De La Garza is able to get the snap cleanly, and he's just going to send this one to the sideline, angling it inside of Trojan territory. It is at the 48-yard line. Excuse me, the Knights' 48-yard line will be where the Trojans will take over, and just off of their first touchdown of the season, they have a short field to work with.
Yeah, that's good for the Trojans. They're going to need it as we've got just over 8 minutes left here in the first half. And this ball game is tied. Both teams really settling into the game, Karl, at this point of the quarter. Both defensive have had held now.
Gruce will be under center. He'll have Givens behind him, and it's the hand to Givens. He's going to run right up the gut, pick up a few yards across the 45 to the 43-yard line, and that's a gain of 6 on 1st down.
Tondra Givens, the ball carrier for the Trojans. 8 to 5 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
Again, as we were saying, they want to play the possession game here as the Trojans been running that run offense. They only passed a couple times, and it's actually worked out pretty well for them. Here under center, it's Gruce. He's going to send Fulmer in motion. They fake the pitch and hand it off to Whitley, and he is met in the backfield immediately. A big tackle and a good read made by the defensive linebacker. That's August McCallum.
Yeah.
And that's a loss of about 3 yards back to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Collum came up from the linebacker spot and just made a really good read on that run.
Shotgun again here for Karsten Gruce. This was a pass the last time we saw it. He doesn't get in shotgun often. He's going to drop back for a straight pass to the right side, and it's caught by Whitley again. He fumbles it out of bounds again, but the official marks him out after making the catch at the 32-yard line, and it's a 1st down, moving the chains of the Trojans.
Karsten Gruce
Yeah, nice. You know, when they're passing it, they're having some success. With the few times that they've passed the ball, Karl, they've been really now completed several.
It must come back down to that possession game plan here against the Knights, but if they build up a lead, they might be able to be a little more risky and see if their junior quarterback, Gruce, can do something with it. 1st and 10 here from the 32, and it's a toss to the right side. It's Fulmer with the catch, and he tried to get it blocked from Merrick, but he is able to stay on his feet after getting tackled and brought down, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. The officials do not stop the play. It looked like he was down to everybody except Coy Fulmer, and he stayed on his feet for a 32-yard touchdown.
Wow, that's an impressive run. I don't know. Looked like they had him.
It looked like he was down, but he must have kept his knees off of the ground. The official's not going to protest, and he stays. Those bear crawls that you practice in the field paid off in this situation.
Yeah, that's the weight room, like you said earlier. The squat's paying off.
That's a big touchdown there for Coy Fulmer as he caught it on just an interesting play, and we'll have to watch that one again on the replay. The point after attempt by Dubashire is through the uprights, is wide left, and it will stay 13-7. But Anderson scoring on back-to-back possessions. It's a lot more of a game than we thought it would be.
I think McCallum heavily favored, I believe, coming into this game after last season, Karl. The Knights went 12-1, I believe, in the semifinal rounds deep into the playoffs here in last season, and Anderson not so much last season. They went 1-9, I believe, last year. So McCallum heavily favored in tonight's game, but quite impressive drive for the Trojans as they now take a lead 13-7 with 6:49 left in the second.
Can we say enough about Karsten Gruce in this first half? He has done a really good job leading these Trojans to the surprising score here. 6:49 left in the second quarter, and it's the Trojans up 13-7. They're about to kick it away.
Well, Karl, that was the second touchdown pass he's thrown. Those were two completions. Those two scores from the Trojans, both coming on pass plays.
That one definitely surprised everybody, especially the safeties, thought that the play was over. You got to play till the whistle in that case.
Yeah, that was an odd play. I really thought the play was over about the 19-yard line, and then he just broke out of there.
And I think that's one where the safeties knew that they were maybe beat and hoping for the whistle to kind of stop the play.
You're right.
All of a sudden the angle was found, and that's all Fulmer needed to get into the end zone for a 32-yard touchdown. Now the ensuing kickoff from Dubashire will be taken by DePaz at the 20. He runs to the 25-yard line and rolls forward. Flags come in after the play, and the return to the 28-yard line. Let's see where it is after these flags.
Return comes out to about the 27-yard line, but let's check the flag.
6:45 is where the clock stops left here in the first half. We will be airing the bands and having a visit perhaps with the owner of the Taco Shack.
Yeah, we look like I've invited Orlando to come up and speak with us here at halftime about the Taco Shack Bowl. Both teams are now 8-8 in the Taco Shack Bowl, and I think with halftime we'll speak to Orlando and have him tell us a little bit about the history of this game and this rivalry.
It was an unnecessary roughness call, 15-yard penalty, personal foul going against the McCallum Knights. So the Anderson Trojans. So certainly a little bit of a break for the Knights as they get across the 40-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, big penalty against the Trojans.
Trips to the right here for Cole Davis as he's trying to answer back with a touchdown after giving up 2 straight. Drops back for a pass, fires across the middle, wide open, and getting across the 20, cutting back and looking for the 15 as he's able to avoid a couple tackles is Takai Stapberry. And Stapberry gets the Knights into the red zone. And a turnover. I didn't see the ball come loose, but the officials say that Jackson picks it up after the tackle, and it'll be the Trojans coming up with the ball.
I did not see that. I did not see that at all, but a turnover down the 10-yard line.
It looked like the Knights were celebrating the big gain, and the ball must have come loose right there at the end, and Jackson comes up with the ball. Like, you know, it was a really impressive play there by Statberry as he was able to avoid a couple tackles, but he must have lost it being stripped on the way down.
Well, the Trojans definitely catching some breaks here.
Karsten Gruz will come under center, 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line. It's a handoff to Fulmer. And Fulmer loses the ball. And it looks like a Knight was able to jump on top of it, but there's a scrum, and the officials will have to sort this one out. But I think they're going to give it back to the Trojans as a last-second effort. It looks like somebody on Anderson might have jumped back on it. That almost could have been another big turnover.
I think they need to call the Patriots ball boy guy, and they put some more air in that ball.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough for somebody to hold on to it. That'll bring up 2nd and 12 after the confusion of the scrum.
Well, back-to-back fumbles. Ball come loose there 2 times.
Anderson's able to come up with it, but they only have 8 seconds here on the ensuing play. Gruz under center. It looks like a little bit of misdirection. He's going to have to create something himself, and he's able to cut behind his left tackle and pick up yards across that original line of scrimmage to the 10-yard line. So gain of, I believe, 4 on the play, and it keeps the clock rolling. So 3rd and 8 here for the Trojans. And again, we talk about that possession game. Even if they're not able to pick up a first down here, they're burning valuable clock.
That's right. Just a little over 5 minutes left in this first half. Again, Anderson up 13-7.
And they might be content letting this go down and burning a timeout and figuring out what they want to do on 3rd and 7. And that's what they'll do. The clock stops at 1 before Anderson calls a timeout. 5:06 left here to play in the first half. Anderson with the 13-7 lead. They've scored on their last 2 drives. And, you know, again, like we were saying, the key here is just to maybe see if they can retain possession and get another 30 seconds off the clock. If 4th down comes up, I imagine the Knights will probably call a timeout and try and maybe take the lead before going into the locker rooms after the ensuing punt.
Dangerous situation to pass down there at that end of the field, but they've had success with passing the ball all night. I mean, really, they've done well passing the ball tonight.
You know, that's what we were talking about. Karsten Gruz, he has really done a couple really good things with his arms, but it's not often that we see the Trojans going out of the shotgun.
Right.
So let's see if they elect to do that here on 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7, ball on the 10-yard line.
10 or 11.
Gruz will be under center. He has 2 men in the backfield with him. Fulmer as the tailback, Givens as the fullback. Fulmer goes in motion as a wing to the left. And now Whitley will go around the left side. It's a pass to the left side. Whitley on the screen. He finds room on the left side, and it'll be close, but he does pick up the first down.
Yeah, that was a
play.
That was a little pass play, but they actually ran the man in motion and did a little bubble screen there on the left side for a first down.
So give a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10 as the Trojans able to do some stuff in the air. The screenplay working in their favor a few times tonight.
Yeah, they've really been exploiting the left side with that bubble screen.
1st and 10 from the 19. Gruz will hand it off to Givens. Givens loses the ball. It's on the floor. It's on the ground, and the Knights are saying they have it. The Trojans aren't putting up much of a contest of argument, and the ref will say that the Trojans recovered it. So wishful thinking there from the Knights pointing in their direction, but that's the 3rd fumble here in the last 2 minutes, and the Trojans have come up with all of them here on 2nd and about 7. Gruz hands it off to Whitley. Whitley brought down in the backfield. A good defensive play made there by Gabe Williams. And it's a loss of 3 back to the 20. 3rd and 10 now. And looks like a timeout will be called by the McCallum Knights with 3:49 left. And, you know, again, I think this comes back to that possession game of chess we were talking about. McCallum, they're confident in their defense to get a stop here on 3rd down and maybe try and do something with it with about 3 minutes left.
Well, the defense really played well on that. That was kind of a sweep around on the right side. The defense stopped them there, but they're going to have to either pass it here on 3rd and 10 coming up, or get ready to punt.
Of course, they could go back to the air, and that seems to be what is delivered for them anytime they need a big play.
I wouldn't be surprised, Karl, if we see another bubble screen on that left side. The offense has been exploiting the right side of that defense of McCallum, and the players cheering on, getting some support from the fans here, asking the fans to liven up here on 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10 from the 19. Clock stopped at 3:49 out of the timeout. Bruce under center. Will send Wheatley in motion. And dropping back for a pass. Bruce evades a tackle. Finds a receiver. It's a catch across the 25. And the catch will be complete to Matthew Segovia.
Still going to be a little bit short, though. Yeah, a few yards short.
So 4th and 3 here, and it looks like the Trojans are going to elect to go for it. Dangerous here in this situation, but again, we're talking about keeping the possession. If they're able to have a turnover on downs, it looks like the Knights might be able to be within the 40 or within the 30 on their own side.
Oh,
or the Trojan side.
Looks like he's just going to call a timeout and he's burning some clock.
Burning some clock here and probably punt it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just burning some clock.
A little bit of a bluff. Yep. So the timeout called with 1 second left on the play clock. 3:01 left here in the first half. Anderson with the 13-7 lead, and that game of chess keep being played here. And it looks like they're going to make the Knights work with a longer field and probably bring out the punting unit.
Yeah, you had a good point there. They really are playing a chess game with the field positioning here in such a close game in the first half. Really impressed with Anderson's ability to move the ball with the passing game. The passing game's got a pretty good balance. Like I said, they're really exploiting that left side, Karl, of the McCallum defense. They're having some success with some of those bubble screens, but definitely a chess match here with field position as we get 3 minutes left here in the first half.
But going back to that previous play, what good pocket awareness by Karsten Gruss, who was able to find that receiver after evading a tackle and giving his team an opportunity to get further down the field. It'll be 4th and 3, and it looks like the punting unit will be out, but nobody back deep to return, and now Gabe Williams will jog and backpedal back across the 50 as this one will be punted away by Trevor Merrick. Merrick catches the snap and gets it away. It's a floater getting across the 50 and takes a bounce in favor of the Knights backwards to the 49-yard line before being downed. And 51 yards in front of them for the junior quarterback, Cole Davis.
Well, we'll see what the Knights offense can do here. They've got enough time to get down there and put points on the board.
Davis will come back out here leading the McCallum offense, trying to get them back ahead before going into the locker rooms. 2:53 left in the first half. Davis has two receivers on both sides, sends a man in motion, hands it off to DePaz, and DePaz around his right tackle as he turns the corner, able to pick up 11 yards to the 40-yard line.
First down.
1st and 10 for the Knights inside Trojan territory. Clock moving here at 2:33. They don't want to waste too much time getting their plays set up. 2 men in the backfield with Davis. 2 receivers to the left, a single receiver to the right. Zone read, a keeper for Davis as he runs behind his right tackle. He's tripped up at the 35 and rolls to the 31-yard line for a pickup of about 9. Daniel Valise with the tackle.
Gain of 8 yards on the play, brings up 2nd down and 2.
They'll officially mark it at the 32-yard line, 2nd and 2, under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Davis getting instructions from the sideline, relays it to his teammates as Sapberry is isolated on the left side from the right hash. It's Davis, Cole Davis keeping it as he runs up the middle. Goes around the left side, voids a tackle and rolls across the 20 into the red zone. Pickup of about 20 yards as he gets to the 18-yard line.
Nice little pickup.
Good yardage, taking the ball down to the 18-yard line. Good for another nice first down.
1st and 10 from the 18. Red zone here for Davis. Hands it off to DePaz. DePaz evades one tackle, cuts back to the 15, and gain of 4-yard lines for Tino DePaz as the clock's still moving at 1:07, and one timeout left for McCallum, so they're going to be conservative with that. 2nd and 6 here.
They got plenty of time here to under a minute, clock running, but they got plenty of time here with the ball inside the 20.
Davis in the shotgun. Rolls out to the left, and he's going to keep it as he tucks and runs across the 10, and he's brought down at around the 7-yard line. Davis picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from about the 6 or 7-yard line. Call it the 7, and like you said, plenty of time here. Then that timeout in the back pocket for the Knights. Davis in the shotgun. Hands it off, and Sutton runs off right guard, and he's able to pick up 1 yard. Brings up 2nd and goal from the 6.
And there's a timeout there with that.
Yeah, there's the timeout, and the last one of the half.
25 seconds remain here in the half as these guys are making a good drive, Karl. They're down there on the 6-yard line.
They had 51 yards in front of them, and they are able to get inside the 10, and I imagine we might see a couple pass plays here out of the Knights here to be conservative with that clock.
Yeah, you'll probably will see something here to the left side of the field, the shorter side of the field to work with, but you're absolutely right. They'll probably pass it to manage this clock.
It's 13-7. The Anderson Trojans with the lead. They've scored the last 2 touchdowns after the Knights drew first blood on a touchdown of their own. The point after attempt on the most recent touchdown by the Trojans was missed, and that's where we are here at House Park. In the first game of the season, we're happy you tuned in here to SHN Sports.
Yeah, just a great night of football here at House Park. I love this stadium. I'm from Austin, Karl. I just love this down here. Just a great football here as we kick off the 2018 season.
Cole Davis comes back out of the timeout with the Knights offense. 2 receivers on both sides, and Jalen Sutton in the backfield. Lewis goes in motion, and it'll be a throw to Lewis. He's going to look for the end zone, and he is cut short.
Cole Davis pass is complete to number 1, Darius Lewis.
Darius Lewis almost had the end zone.
He's going to be short.
And it was Andre Jackson making a big defensive
10 seconds,
play.
9 seconds. Let's see what they got.
Davis will catch it on the shotgun. He fakes it to the left and cuts back up the middle. Flag comes in, and we'll see what this is. It might take back this Knights touchdown.
I believe it's a false start, Karl. That's going to negate the score.
Yeah, the score will be taken off of the scoreboard. An illegal shift called on the Knights. And that's a 10-second runoff, I believe.
That'll be the half.
Oh, excuse me, they will not. It's 5 yards back. So no 10-second runoff, I beg your pardon. And
they're going for it.
So
3 seconds left in your
from the 7-yard line, 3rd and goal, 3 seconds left. Davis drops back, looks for a pass, scans to the left, fires it to the corner, and it just goes over the hands of the intended receiver, Takari Stapberry. And that will do it for the first half. We go into the locker rooms with the Anderson Trojans leading the McCallum Knights 13-7. Thank you for tuning in to SHN Sports. I'm Karl Schoening along with Russell Dowden. We will be back with the second half, but for the halftime entertainment, enjoy the marching bands of both teams. Keep it tuned in here to YouTube and SHNSports.com.
Mrs. Kayla Orton and Miss Carrie Brown. The bell officers are Junior Lieutenant Kate Upchurch, Junior Lieutenant Callie Wilson, Senior Lieutenant Olivia Rusk, First Lieutenant Jillian Bynes, and Captain Eden Cohen. The social officers are Junior Social Officer Emma Ellis, Junior Social Officer Shelby Owens, and President Lucy Shabib. The belle of the week is Daisy Blake, and Officer's Choice is Zoe Vardiz. Tonight, the Bells will be performing a dazzling palm routine to Runaway Baby. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Trojan Bells! The 2018 Trojan Marching Band. Drum majors for the band are Chucky Joe, Maria the Santiago Perez, and Sabrina Parajuli. Officers of the band are co-presidents Max Hill, Johnny McBride, and Alexis Townsend. Vice President of Social and Service Activities, Stephen O. Librarian, Leah Dubiel and Helena Lewis. Band managers, Aiden DiCarlo and Andrew Stevens. The Trojan Band Marchers of the Week are Molly Cash, Bronte Pratt, Randy Vrana, and Alice Hayes. The Trojan Band would like to thank the Anderson community for their generosity during our yearly Flamingoing fundraiser. We would also like to thank Austin Capital Bank, Easter and Easter Realtors, Double Dave's Pizza, Premium Cabinets, Arboretum Vision Care, More Than a Teacher, Mike Mangum Welding, College Nannies and Tutors, the Med Spa at Northwest Hills, Pokey Joe's Smokehouse, Nest Properties Austin, and Blue Dragon Plumbing for their sponsorship. Thank you for supporting the Trojan Band. Tonight, the Trojan Band will perform their 2018 production entitled Connect Us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trojan Band! and gentlemen, the Anderson Trojan Band. The dance guard instructor is William Henry. Percussion instructor is Daniel Wainwright. Directors of the Anderson Band are Andrea Gonzalez, Frank Nedley, Jeff Cleveland, and Scott Taylor.
So they can see us right on there. That's a little cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 2018-2019 McCallum High School Band. Under the full direction of drum makers Jonathan Forbes and Dexter Kenny. The officers of the Mac Band are President Henry Stanford, Vice President Jackson Bennett, Secretary Treasurer Michaela Tovar, and the reporter historian is Sarah Schneider. Our marcher of the week is Madeline Niles. Congratulations. The McCallum Band is one of the premier 5A bands in the state of Texas. In 2016, they were named by the Foundation for Music Education as the winners of the National Wind Ensemble Contest. They have performed at the Alamo Dome twice in the UIL 5A State Marching Contest and have been named a 5A Honor Band finalist 4 times by the Texas Music Educators Association, a record for all AISD schools. In the spring of 2020, the Mac Band will travel to New York City to perform at Carnegie Hall for an amazing 7th time. Movements 1 and 2 of our UIL contest show, Machines of Change. featuring the music of Kracy and Peter Graham. Our trumpet soloist is Chance Green. And now, please welcome the McCallum High School Band. we now present the McCallum Blue Brigade. Flight officers are Junior Lieutenant Lily Brown, Junior Lieutenant Amelia Paul, Senior Lieutenant Ellie Stites, Senior Lieutenant Maddie Ceballos, Senior Lieutenant Sophia Zalo, First Lieutenant Carol Tinkler, and the Captain is Shannon James. Spirit Dancer of the Week is Cindy Buford. And Dancer of the Week is Charlie Tomei. And we'd like to take this opportunity to wish our social officer a happy 18th birthday. Happy 18th, Emily Staples. This evening, the Blue Brigade performs a kick routine to the crowd favorite, Hey Baby.
All right, welcome back to SHN Sports coverage of the 2018 Taco Shack Bowl as we near the start of the third quarter. I'm here with Orlando from Taco Shack. Orlando, welcome to the broadcast. This is fantastic, man. This is the tiebreaker.
Yes, it is, and we're really excited to sponsor this. It's 8-8. We have a great ball game on our hands here at halftime.
We sure do. It's 13-7. Anderson up surprisingly over McCallum in this year's game. What do you think of that?
I think it's a rebuilding year for McCallum. I'm really impressed, though, with the quarterback from Mac right now. But I'll tell you, Anderson seems to have a little life in him, and I think it's going to come down to the last play in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's certainly a good one so far. How many years have you been doing this now? I know that the trophy is now in the 17th year. Is that right?
Right. So we started 17 years ago today, and that's where we're tied at 8-8.
Wow.
And it's great to have this neighborhood rivalry that's been going on even before the Taco Shack Bowl started.
Well, I'm a graduate from Lanier High School, and that was the same district, 25-5A, for many, many years, was the district that all the AISD teams were a part of. And anyway, just wanted to say and have you up here and thank you for such a great job on everything.
Thanks for you guys doing the radio show, broadcast tonight. And we're glad and excited that Taco Shack's involved in this.
Hey, well, thanks for keep on doing this. We hope you have another 17 more, brother.
Hey, thank you.
All right, there he goes. That's Orlando from Taco Shack, and thanks so much for everything he's done here with this bowl, with this game, and we got a good one here tonight, folks. 13-7, Karl. Yep, 13-7 as we start the third quarter. Take care. There's Orlando.
There we go. Had to untangle a couple things before we got back here. It's Karl Schoening along with Russell Dowden, and we will be back here to start the second half at House Park. Happy you tuned in to SHN Sports and YouTube.com. The Trojans elected to receive the kickoff. They didn't score on their first drive, but they scored on the next two drives that they had possession of the football, and now they will kick it away as it will be the McCallum Knights receiving the ball here in the second half. And kickoff is an end-over-end beauty of a kick, taking it back and bobbling it at the 5 is to Perez, and he's going to find some room and gets hit at the knees at the 15 and dives forward to the 18-yard line. Or excuse me, that was Jalen Sutton there with the return, and it will be 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for the McCallum Knights. It's 13-7. Anderson Trojans with the lead. 6 ticks come off after that kickoff, and the Knights looking to retake the lead. They had the first lead of the ball game, and Cole Davis will come out and try and get this offense back on track as they just had a failed red zone attempt before the halftime gun. Davis in the shotgun, 1st and 10, hands it off to Sutton. He runs around his left tackle and does a somersault forward to the 23-yard line, where it will be a pickup of about 4 yards and bring up 2nd and 6.
Let's see what these guys can put together a drive here.
Brings up 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
The Knights in much need of a score.
2nd and 6 here with Cole Davis in the shotgun. Trips to the right, a single receiver to the left, and it's a design quarterback run as Davis takes it wide and lowers his shoulder pads at the 25-yard line and rolls out of bounds. The official will spot him down there after a long pickup of about 2 yards and brings up 3rd and 4.
Run out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line and bring up 3rd down and 3 yards to go.
Clock still moving, though, even though it looked like Davis might have gone out of bounds. 11-11 left here as we are in the third quarter. Davis getting instructions from the sideline. 15 seconds left on the play clock. 2 receivers set up on both sides. And Sutton in the backfield with Cole Davis. Man goes in motion. That's Darius Lewis, and the fake handoff to Lewis. It's a keeper for Davis, and that was read all the way as it was a stop made by the defense of the Anderson Trojans, and the tackle made by Cooper Tyler.
Loss of a yard on the play will bring up 4th down and 4 yards to go.
It's 4th and 5 after that loss of 1, and the punting unit coming out for the Knights. Not how they wanted to start off their second half drive.
The Trojan defense really played well there on those set of downs. Let's see what they can do as the return man's back at the 50.
The punt is away. It's a wobbly one that will bounce at the 45 and take a night roll to the 47, call it the 46-yard line, is where the line judge will officially down it. And the Trojans get to take over in night territory for their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, not looking too great for the Knights, as the Trojans have been able to have some success moving the ball. And as Orlando said earlier, it is kind of a rebuilding year for McCallum. They lost a lot of seniors, Karl, with that team that went deep in the playoffs last season.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of the Knights, and Karsten Gross will come out under center. He has 2 men in the backfield with him, hands it off to Whitley, and Whitley is able to get to the 40-yard line after the block from Tondrick Givens, and that gets it to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 6 yards, and brings up 2nd and 4.
6 yards, brings up 2nd down and 4 yards to go.
Again, back to that methodical offense here. Clock under 20 seconds, and Gross with 2 men in the backfield and a wing on the right side will go under center and hands it off to Fulmer. And Fulmer finds some room off the right side, and he's going to run across untouched into the end zone for a 40-yard touchdown.
Wow, that was another dive play right up the middle for the Trojans, as Anderson now taking the lead 19-7 with the field goal attempt coming up.
Coy Fulmer with a 40-yard touchdown run, and he got a good block at the line of scrimmage, and nobody behind that defensive line was able to catch up to the shifty Fulmer. Now the point after attempt is going to be no good.
Low
from Blaze Derbyshire, and we have a penalty flag on the field. See what that's about.
Well, Karl, the Anderson Trojans, man, have quieted this Knights crowd down as they've taken a 19-7 lead with just over under 9.5 minutes left in the third.
So the penalty was offsides on the defense. It was declined. They say the kick was good.
Oh, there it is on the scoreboard.
So go ahead and they'll update it. They took a little while to update it. I guess the scoreboard operator didn't see it.
I didn't think that. It didn't look good from up here, but I guess it was just a really low kick.
Trust the officials, and they go ahead and say that the Anderson Trojans take a 13-point lead over the McCallum Knights.
Wow. Well, we're in a good one.
McCallum has Sutton and DePez back deep to receive this ensuing kickoff.
Back deep to receive for the Knights, number 21, Jalen Sutton.
Kicking it away will be Weil Nasser.
The wind's really picked up here, Karl, in the last few minutes. There's a strong wind coming in from the south.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. And it's going to be at the back here of Nasser.
Yeah, it's going to actually help them with this kickoff. I suspect this kick will be deep.
And he's going to take a long charge, an 11-yard charge, call it 12 from the 34. And sends this one end over end to the left side. DePaz takes it at the 15-yard line, gets across the 20, and is brought down short of the 25-yard line. And that's Jackson there. Andre Jackson has been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, he has. He made a great arm tackle right there. Looks like the ball's going to be placed right around the 22-yard line. Well played, though, by the coverage team.
It comes out to the 23-yard line. It'll be first and 10 for the Knights.
So the Knights taking back over at their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10 for Cole Davis. He has 2 men in the backfield with him, 2 receivers to the right and a single receiver on the left side. It's a handoff to Sutton. Sutton runs wide to the right and is able to get across the 25 and fall forward to the 27-yard line.
Well, what do you think of that balanced attack, Karl? I think, you know, Anderson's really mixing it up with the run game, the passing game. They've run for a touchdown and passed for 2.
It's old school high school football. They're not really relying on the passing game, which you see a lot in these spread offenses, but it's also good possession football. Here's Davis has a 2nd and 6 opportunity, hands it off to Sutton. Sutton rounds around his right tackle and was able to pick up the first down to the 36-yard line and get a fresh set of downs here as the clock stops at 8:45. Third quarter here as the Knights still have plenty of time left to get back into this. Cole Davis getting his first start of his varsity career, getting instructions from the sideline.
Again, the 17th Taco Shack Bowl. All right.
Here's a handoff on 1st and 10, going around the right side and picking up about 5 yards to the 45-yard line is Tino DePaz, and that's a good gain to the 45 and 9 yards on the ground.
Yeah, nice little pickup as we approach 8 minutes here in the third quarter from downtown Austin, House Park on SHN Sports.
2nd and 1 here for Davis. 2 men in the backfield, and it's a zone read. Handoff to Sutton. Sutton picks up the first down, crosses midfield, lowers his shoulder, and gets all the way to the 39-yard line before he is brought down on the tackle by Jordan Hood.
Trojan territory down to the 39-yard line. Good for a Knights first down.
So the Knights enter Trojans territory for the first time in this second half, and clock picks back up after stopping at 7:35, and 1st and 10 from the Trojan 39-yard line. 2 men in the backfield. Davis with a zone read hands it off to DePaz, and he is brought down for a loss to the 41-yard line.
The Trojan defense was there on that stop, tackling for a loss. Bring up 2nd and 12.
Yeah, officially a loss of 2 here, and the Knights trying to figure out what they're going to do to try and answer back here as they've fallen behind the chains on their first down. Man goes in motion here on 2nd and 12. It'll be a quick pass play and caught across the middle for a first down into the 25 and rolling to the 23-yard line. It's Cruz Escobar with his first catch of the evening, and it's a big one here to give a little momentum to the to the Knights.
Yeah, much needed big play for McCallum as they get the crowd a little fired up here as they made their way here inside the red zone. Bringing up 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line.
2 men in the backfield here with Davis, and whistles blow this play dead as a timeout was called by the Trojans with 6:16 left here in the third quarter. The Anderson Trojans sensing that the Knights are picking up some momentum, decide to stop it right there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good call by the coaching staff to let these guys get some Gatorade and kind of slow that rhythm down for McCallum, but definitely picking up some rhythm as they're here now threatening from the 18, Karl.
McCallum struck first when they scored their touchdown, and Anderson has since scored 3 of their own. And now with 6:16 left in the third, the Knights looking to get back into, or they're in the red zone again. They failed to score at the end of the first half in the red zone, and now they have a little bit more time. They don't have to fight the clock like they did at the end of the first half.
No, that's a really good point. They were right there with that play on that last drive where the clock ran down on the penalty. Didn't capitalize on that last drive that really hurt McCallum, as they really could have brought the lead within 6 had they had scored on that last few plays. Instead, now trailing by 13 as the Knights threaten from the 18-yard line.
Yeah, it'll be 1st and 10. Davis has DePaz and Sutton in the backfield. Handoff to DePaz. He fumbles it. Ball's on the floor, and DePaz is able to get back on top of it, but loses 2 yards back to the 20-yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Yeah, got to take care of a little bit of care of the ball coming out of a timeout like that.
Loss of 2 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 12.
So the Knights will see a little bit more precious time tick away after the fumble, as it's under 5:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Trips to the left. Sutton in the backfield with Davis. One receiver on the right side, a pump fake to the left side. Davis spending a lot of time looking over there, and he's under pressure, and he's going to be hitting the backfield. Gets rid of it and makes a dangerous throw that goes incomplete. And Jackson, who really wanted to come up with the interception, comes down limping, and he's going to stay on the ground here, and the clock will stop at 5:31 for the injury. Hopefully Andre Jackson's all right, because he has been a great piece of the defense tonight for the Anderson Trojans.
Yeah, they have been making big plays tonight for the Trojans, and the kids take a knee. We recap.
We were talking about that play at the end of the first half that could have come very close to being a touchdown. That was all Andre Jackson there, making sure that the goal line was protected, and here he seemed to be a little bit overzealous trying to go for that, again, dangerous throw as he was hit from Cole Davis, and it looks like they're treating him for a cramp. You know, it's one of these things where you were talking about earlier, get that Gatorade back in, because, you know, these guys have been sweating all day. It was hot out there when the sun was out. It's still hot out there on the field. I guarantee it's probably 95, if not 100 down on the field.
It was definitely 3 digits when I got here. It was really hot earlier, and these players, as you said, have been out here on the field since 5:30 this afternoon. Very hot, cramping taking effect to some of the players here this late in the second half.
He's able to get back up under his own power, and the Trojans chanting Andre as he comes back towards the sideline. And hopefully everything's all right with him. 5:31 left here in the 3rd quarter, and it's 3rd and 12 after the incomplete pass. Cole Davis looking to go ahead and pick up a little bit more momentum here following the stoppage of play, and he hands it off to Sutton. Sutton wants to run wide left, and he runs into 3 defenders and only picks up maybe 2 yards, brings up 4th down, and this is obviously 4-down territory. It would be a 37-yard field goal, which you don't see often in high school. So probably going to be a situation here on 4th and 11 from the 19 for the Knights.
Yeah, they'll be hard-pressed to pass the ball here, I think.
Now, definitely a passing situation. 3 receivers to the right side, 2 men in the backfield. Back there for protection for Cole Davis. Davis sparks out instructions to the right side. And it looks like man defense being brought on by the Trojans. A drop back and a pass across the middle, intercepted, and down picking up the interception was the defensive back, Cameron Langford. Cameron Langford, in a way, maybe probably should have just batted that down and saved his team some yards, but he'll take the sack.
Yeah, that should take the sack on that one, but tried to make a play, and the DB was right there.
So the turnover on the interception actually saves the Knights a little bit of defense yards behind their back, and first and 10 from the 6-yard line for Caston Gross and the Trojans. Gross under center, 2 men in the backfield with him. They hand off to Fulmer. Fulmer able to recover as he stumbled a little bit, gets across the 10 and just short of the 15-yard line. Clock keeps moving at 4:34 left in the 3rd quarter, and that'll bring up 2nd down as a pickup of 5 is made out to the 14-yard line.
5 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 5.
Cruz under center, hands it off to Fulmer, who goes behind his right tackle and is able to scamper ahead to the 19-yard line, pick up the 1st down for the Trojans. And it comes back to that old school football we were talking about, possession football, and it seems like the Knights haven't quite found the defense in the backfield like they had to start this game, and the Trojans really finding those running lanes.
Well, I think you're right. I think the Knights have not yet found a rhythm here in the second half of this game, and really the Trojans really moving the ball.
Trojans sticking to their game plan, as it will be a handoff again, and Whitley is across the 30 down to the 34-yard line for another first down on a gain of 15 yards. And like we were just talking about, Anderson doing it on the ground, sticking to their game plan, and it looks like they're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, and they're really doing a nice job of mixing it up, passing when they need to, mostly managing the game clock, Karl.
Talking about managing the game clock, they're still in their huddle with 15 seconds left on the play clock, 3:20 left in the third quarter. Under center, it's Gross, and he has two men in the backfield with him. A hand to Fulmer. Fulmer right up the center, and he is going to be able to get across the 35-yard line to the 36 for a pickup of about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Number 21, Fulmer.
Just under 3 minutes now in the third quarter, as the Trojans really working that clock, Karl.
Make the tackle by number 30, Ryan Bonstein.
Yeah, as we talked about, we don't see too many huddles in this day and age, but they've been going with a huddle all game and staying under center, something else you don't see too often. And Gross under center with that same formation, hands it off to Fulmer. Fulmer finds some space and stays on his feet across the 40, the 45, 50, and he's tackled across midfield at the 46-yard line, brought down by the defender Gabe Williams, but that's plenty of pickup for a first down into Knight territory, and the Trojans have just been doing it with their feet. They don't need to go to the air, which has also been an effective weapon for them tonight.
Well, they have not gone to the air this much this second half, and the running game really working, as you'll see some of the McCallum Knight players now with their hands on their hips, Karl. The running game taking effect on the defense.
2:05 left in the third. 1st and 10 situation here for Gross under center. He gives it to Wheatley, and Wheatley is able to duck his way across the 40 to the 37, caught the 38-yard line to a pickup of 8 yards, and brings up 2nd and 2. Gross under center. Drops back for a pass, scans to the left side, lobs it up. Merrick tried to make the one-handed catch, falls incomplete, and that'll bring up a 3rd and short at the 38-yard line. And almost a spectacular play there made by Trevor Merrick, but Julius Hodge able to make the defense on the corner.
Yeah, that was a nice little. Why not take a shot? It's 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a fair passing play, as now they can do a little bit more on 3rd and short. The clock stops at 1:24. 3rd and 2 from the 38. Under center, Gross hands it off, and running up the middle is the fullback. Getting his first carry of the night is Matthew Segovia, and he's able to pick up the first down and get it to the 35-yard line for a new set of downs. So ball at the Knights 35. The Trojans again letting the play clock go to 15 seconds before they even get into their huddle. Under a minute to play in the third.
Yeah, credit the coaching staff of the Trojans, really managing the game well here.
Gross under center with a handoff on a misdirection around the left end. It's Wheatley. Wheatley across the 30 and dragged out of bounds by Gabe Williams to the 26-yard line, just shy of the first down. That'll bring up 2nd and 1.
9 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 1.
Well, there's really been a shift in momentum in the last quarter and a half. You know, after the second quarter, the momentum you could feel just kind of shifted towards the Trojans as the clock winds down here, and that's going to do it for the third quarter as the Anderson Trojans again lead 20-7.
Yeah, the Trojans concede the rest of the time in the third quarter. They'll let the game clock tick to end the third quarter, and as you said, Anderson with a surprising 20-7 lead here as we enter the fourth quarter, as the team that made it to the state semifinals last year in the McCallum Knights find themselves down 13 going into the final frame of the ball game. And you know, we were talking about this at the half, obviously, with Orlando, the owner of Taco Shack. Rebuilding year of sorts, but still always a little bit surprising when one team was 1-9 last year against a team that made it almost one game away from Jerry. They were one game away from Jerry World. So totally a bit of a shock here for us, as we were maybe expecting a McCallum cruise control by this point.
I agree, and what a difference a year makes, you know. And I agree. I think we really thought McCallum was going to, you know, take it to them, but it's been a tougher challenge for them tonight. Anderson leading by 13 as we go here into the fourth.
And they have the ball. It's 2nd and 1 from the 26-yard line. Bruce under center. Hands it off to Fulmer. Fulmer runs up the middle, picks up the first down, and is able to get down to the 21-yard line. And the clock stops at 11:56 here in the fourth quarter to move the chains.
And player is down. We're going to take a knee. And yes, this is the 17th annual Taco Shack Bowl.
As you were talking about, it's 8-8 right now, up to this point of the seasons, or up to this point of the series. So,
this is the tiebreaker one, and these schools know each other very well. I grew up in this district. I went to high school in the same district, Carl, and I tell you, these teams know each other very well.
We're gonna go ahead and send it down to Stephen Strong on the sideline. Take it away, Stephen.
Thank you, Carl. You know, this crowd here on the McCallum side has been silent, nearly silent most of this second half and towards the end of that first half. Jalen Sutton with the only score for these Knights. And I do want to point out Ryan Bonesteel at middle linebacker for the Knights. First start in his career here on varsity. He was a special teamer last year, having a heck of a game. He has several tackles here. I spoke to his mom at halftime. She was really happy with his performance so far, and we'll see if the Knights can somehow manage to come back. Back to you, Karl.
Thank you. Coy Fulmer was able to get off the field under his own power. Here's a handoff up the middle to Trondrick Gibbons, and he fights his way just shy of the first down. Pickup of 9 on first down, and following the pause of play for that injury, the Trojans pick up right where they left off, picking up major yards with the feet. Second and 1. And whistles will hold things up for the moment. Substitutions coming in for the Knights.
Trojans trying to make a push here, Carl. They're on the 11.
The way they've been handling the clock, if they score here, even if the Knights were able to come back and score quickly, they've been a good job of maybe making this insurmountable the way they've been keep running the ball on the ground.
Yeah, really hats off to the offensive coordinator for Anderson running this game clock well.
Second and 1 for Gross, and it's a fullback dive right up the middle, trying to pick up the first down. Is able to get it to the 10-yard line, and that'll set up a first and goal from the 10 for the Trojans, as it's a pickup from Trondrick Gibbons on the fullback dive, which has been a popular play for them tonight.
Yeah, they've had success with that most of the night. So why not keep running that? They've broke through several times with that dive play.
And they're keeping that clock running. Only 15 seconds on the play clock. Huddle will just now break. 10:20 left in the fourth quarter. Anderson trying to add to their 20-7 lead. Gross under center, hands it off to Wheatley, and Wheatley ducks his head after picking up a few more. That's Fulmer coming back in, and Fulmer gets it to the 7, picks up 3, and second and goal from the 7.
Again, live at the Taco Shack Bowl. These teams tied 8 games apiece from House Park right here in downtown Austin, Texas.
Clock still moving at 9:40 left in the fourth, and play clock is at 10 seconds as the substitute comes in with the play. It's a new quarterback, Scott Dilbosk, number 11 under center. And he hands it off, running up the middle. It's Fulmer. He gets across the 5 and stopped at the 4-yard line. And a few players down on the field before we continue here. Looks like everybody's okay. And it's 3rd and goal from the 4. Ten seconds left on the play clock, and in no hurry is Scott Dilbosk. Dilbosk hands it off to Wheatley, who tries to cut around his left guard and is stopped at the 2-yard line. Revis Wheatley only 2 yards away. It's 4th and 2. You might as well go for it, because if it's a turnover on downs, you got them pinned so deep that it's worth it.
I suspect they'll get this clock all the way down to 1 and try to get it in. If not, like you said, they make them go 98 yards the other way.
No point in just adding 3 at the moment, and especially after one of the point-after attempts has not gone through. But as you said, they're just going to let this one go all the way down, call a timeout, and keep the Knights guessing. So the timeout called at 7:57 left in the fourth quarter. Anderson knocking on the door. It's 20-7. They have the 13-point lead, looking to add to it. And as we mentioned, pick up the 2 yards, you get a touchdown, and that's perhaps insurmountable. Even if McCallum scores quickly, they would have to hope for a turnover or 2 to come back and close this gap.
They would need 3. If they score, they'll need 3. They would need 3 more scores to tie this thing up. They need a stand here with their defense and try to get something going offensively.
Both teams in the timeout rehydrating, and knock on wood, but real happy to see the limited number of injuries tonight, and you see a lot of cramps usually this week one, because it's an actual game time action, and they're maybe exerting a little more energy than usual and thus losing a little more fluids than usual, and that is really taxing on the muscles. But here, been a good job so far. Both teams taking advantage of their recovery time, especially with the way the Trojans have been running this clock. Here it is, 2nd and goal from the 2nd, with 4th and goal from the 2, I should say. And the Trojans come out with a jumbo set, a handoff, and stop short of the goal line was Tondrick Givens, and Givens unable to get across as he looked for a final extension at the 1-yard line. 99 yards ahead of them and down by 13. The McCallum Knights stay alive with that defensive stop.
Well, they're going to have to go a long way to get some points on the board here, as Trojans were content to just let their defense take the field and see what the Knights can do with the ball.
So bringing in a new quarterback in the red zone, Scott Dilbosk, unable to really get that run game continued. A good defensive stand by the Knights puts them at 1st and 10 from the 1. In the shadow of his own goalpost in the end zone, Cole Davis hands it off to Sutton, and Sutton's able to get to the 5 and even fall to the 6-yard line to give his team some breathing room, bring up 2nd and 5.
Yep, that's 2nd and 5 as we pause for a injury timeout at 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the 4th.
There's another injured Trojan.
Injured Trojan being attended to. 7:40 left here in the 4th is where the clock stops. Anderson leading by 13. The Knights just picking up 5 yards on that previous play. Will hope that the opponent is okay.
Pretty good turnout for Thursday night football, kicking the season off here. What did you think of tonight's crowd here at House Park?
Packed on both sides. Both teams are the same shade blue, so it looks like it's a sellout. In fact, it's kind of odd. Some of the student section on the other side is wearing red. I guess maybe just to kind of separate themselves from the McCallum Knights, and it looks like the injured Trojan is okay. He's able to jog off under his own pressure, so hopefully it was just a quick little cramp and he finds himself back all right. Cole Davis from the 5-yard line, shotgun snap, hands it off to Sutton. Sutton runs left side and gets to the 9-yard line. Clock still moving at 7:17 left here in the 4th quarter, and obviously they're being conservative keeping it on the ground, but at some point Davis is going to have to use his arm to help his team narrow this gap.
I think they're looking at that opportunity right now here with 3rd and short, but see if they run or pass it here on 3rd and 2.
Davis orders out instructions, and he'll keep it as he runs around left side, able to stutter step into the first down, roll across the 20, and get to the 21-yard line, move the chain, stops the clock at 6:45. And now that he's not in that, end zone area where you could risk a safety or a turnover that would lead to a touchdown, it looks like the Trojans or the Knights might try to get that first down through the air.
They've got a little breathing room here. They can now open up that pass as they've got 3 to the right.
It'll be Davis sending Sutton in motion to clear out the backfield. He pump fakes to the right, scans down the right sideline, and it's intercepted and then dropped. Almost picked off by the Trojans. Jordan Hood couldn't quite hold on to it, and that could have ended the game right there, as it looked like he might have only had one person to beat into the end zone.
Sometimes you want to start running before you catch that thing. And
I like the old Rod Babers line from when he played at the University of Texas, and he was a cornerback. He said, "Nobody catches the ball on my side of the field, not even me." His nickname was Stonehands. 2nd and 10, Cole Davis tries to run to the right side, and he stays on his feet and gets across the middle, across the 50. He has one man to beat, the 35, lowers his shoulder at the 30, and he's smart to get out of bounds with a huge pickup from the 21 to the 25. He flips the field, gets into Trojan territory, and the Knights find some momentum.
Finding momentum and bringing this crowd to their feet as well, Carl, as we are just over 6 minutes left remaining in this game. A huge run.
A timeout called by McCallum. That's their first time out of the half. They have 2 remaining. Anderson has 1 timeout left. 6:06, and this game's not over yet.
No, if they score quickly here with, if they can get into the end zone with 5 minutes left, they've still given themselves a chance.
What a way of navigating through the trenches there by Cole Davis. It looks like there's a injured Trojan being attended to during this timeout, but Davis looked like he was caught in the mud behind his right side of the line, and then all of a sudden he was able to spin away, stayed on his feet, run up the middle, and get across midfield, and he just ran out of gas around the 30, but still getting to the 24-yard line is where they officially marked the ball down. It's a pickup of 43 yards, or excuse me, 47 yards.
Yeah, he did kind of run right out of gas, but he was smart enough to get out of bounds there towards the end and get that clock stopped.
Regardless of the clock stopping, McCallum still calls a timeout to get their game plan in order, realizing that scoring quickly, as you were mentioning, is very crucial here to the strategy left here with 6:06 to play in the 4th.
Players waving their hands in the air here towards the Knights crowd to try to get the crowd pumped up a little bit here as they try to march into score with just over 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
1st and 10, ball on the 24-yard line. Knights in Trojans territory. 2 men in the backfield with Cole Davis. 2 receivers stacked out to the right. And Statberry isolated on the left side. It's a keeper designed by Davis. He's going to run to the right after the zone read and get across the 20 to the 16-yard line, be just short of the first down. 2nd and 1 coming up.
Down to the 16-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down.
I like the call there. You don't have to pass it just yet. Just chip away at some of these yards and leave yourself an opportunity.
Perhaps go for the onside kick.
Yep, that's a possible. They just got to punch it in here.
From the 16. 2nd and 1, Davis sends a man in motion. He hands it off to Darius Lewis, and Lewis on the end around running the left side, picks up the first down, finds room across the 10, into the end zone, touchdown. Knights keeping this game interesting. Score on an 16-yard run, and Darius Lewis in motion. The end around worked to perfection.
Well, that's just what I was talking about. If they can get this thing under a manageable game clock, there's just over 5:16 remaining here in the fourth as they try the extra attempt. But this will give them an opportunity, Karl, here going in down the stretch.
The point after attempt will be sent up by De La Garza, and he sends that one through, making this a 6-point ball game.
Well, I got to tell you, I think Orlando was onto something when he said this may come down to the final wire. Who better to know than the
owner of Taco Shack for the Taco Shack Bowl?
This is his 17th one of these, so he called it a little while ago, said this was going to come down to a close game in the end.
.5:16 left here in the fourth quarter. Karl Schoening, Russell Dowden, and Steven Strong on the sideline. It's an opportunity here for perhaps the first onside kick of this 2018 season.
Yeah.
Or are the Knights going to go ahead and trust their defense? But, you know, the way the Trojans, as we were talking about way earlier back in their last possession, the way they've been running the football and using the clock, you don't want to risk them running that clock out. So if you give them the short field, so be it. But perhaps try for that pickup of a new interception.
For me,
a new possession.
I'd go kick it deep right here and let my defense take the field, get the crowd in behind you, and just play some defense. If they recover the kick and it's unsuccessful, look what the field position you just given them.
Well, it looks like the Trojans are anticipating this onside kick. De La Garza at the 5-yard line, which is a sign that he'll probably do that himself. It does travel its 10 yards and it rolls out of bounds. A illegal procedure flag comes in here, and I imagine the Trojans will go ahead and accept, will not want to do the re-kick and just accept having possession of the ball wherever it may perhaps
just short of midfield somewhere.
Yeah, let's see where the officials spot this. It looks like it'll be at the 37-yard line. And that will move the ball to
42-yard line.
42 after the penalty.
20-14 with 5:16 remaining.
Gross back in, and Del Bosque is in, and he hands it off to Wheatley. Wheatley finds room down the left side, picks up the first down. Flag comes flying in after the big gain into Knight territory, and hold. And yeah, it was a hold being accepted immediately by McCallum, and it's a break there for the Knights, as that could have spelt danger. And you know, again, that's one of those things where a hold is probably what sparked the big run, and that play has moved all the way back.
So often we see that in high school football, where these kids get a penalty, especially on the edge, We had one earlier in the first half like that.
So the yard to gain is the Knights 48. The ball all the way back to the 32-yard line, making this a 1st and 20. So the Trojans break their timeout. Under 5 minutes to play in the 4th. A run up the middle is going nowhere. Stopped at this line of scrimmage as Fulmer was unable to get anywhere. Scottsdale Bosque is still in the game, and that's an interesting call as perhaps the starter came out just a tad bit too early as Karsten Gruss was doing a great job, but they're going with the senior as Scottsdale Bosque stays into the game. And 2nd and 32, clock moving at 4:20 left in the 4th. Del Bosque fakes the handoff and then hands it off to Wheatley. A fumble, and then Anderson coughs up the football. The McCallum Knights turn the ball over, and there's a lot of life left in this ball game. 4:07 left, and a short field ahead for the McCallum Knights and Cole Davis.
Oh, man. And we've got a player down after that play with 4:07 remaining in the 4th on a turnover and a player down.
Yeah, a McCallum player down. I think that might be Scottsdale Bosque.
I believe it was the ball carrier.
Or Wheatley, the running back who came on the end around. And
yeah, the linebacker on that play just got a free shot at that runner.
He read it the whole way because they faked the handoff to Givens.
Yeah, it was a delay handoff, and
you know,
okay.
Well, we're going to take this opportunity to go down to Stephen Strong. Stephen, what do you got for us?
Karl, Russell, man, what a turn of events here. This McCallum crowd I said was silent earlier. They are far from that right now as the Anderson Trojan is able to get up to his feet. But, man, this crowd has come to life, and in large part, once again, due to Ryan Bonesteel with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And now they got a real chance to come back and see if they can get this victory here and take the series lead. I'll send it back to you, Karl. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, the crowd here on the McCallum side has come to life, and it's Wheatley who is able to come up and get to the sideline, but the turnover after that attempted handoff to Wheatley is where we are right now. A 6-point game, 4:07 left, and Cole Davis sends a man in motion. He's going to keep it on the fake end around, roll to the left, runs to the left, and gets across the 25 to the 24 before he is brought down on the play.
Yeah, that was pickup of 2 yards. We'll bring up 2nd and 8. But really, this is exactly what the Knights needed to have happen.
Clock moving at 4 minutes here, and yeah, exactly. Now the Knights can try and burn a little clock.
Yeah.
Look for the lead, if not tie it up on a touchdown, depending on the point after attempt. And with 2 men in the backfield, 2nd and 8, Cole Davis in the shotgun. Hands off to Sutton. Sutton finds room on the left side across the 20, and he is brought down at the 17-yard line. Tackle made by Cameron Langford, and that brings up 3rd and 1. It's McCallum in the red zone. Trips to the right, 2 receivers on the left side, 5 wide here for Cole Davis on 3rd and 1 from the 17, and a timeout called by the Trojans. Good time to call timeout because that is an obvious rundown situation. They spread the defense, and the way Cole Davis has been keeping the ball, you would imagine he would probably just run for the first down, and with the defense spread, he might have been able to weave his way into the end zone.
Yeah, I think the defense coaching saw that and called a quick timeout on that play. They had them spread out pretty wide there. So the defense took a quick timeout. Just over 3 minutes here, down by 6.
Yeah, McCallum trying to make a comeback of epic proportions because, like we said, going all the way back to when it was 20-7, 4th and goal from the 2, the opportunity to put this game away from the Trojans presented itself, and it was stopped by the defense of the Knights, and then a couple breaks went their way. That fumble right there at the 35-yard line results in this red zone drive for the Knights.
That also brings up, they could have gone for the field goal.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have put them that would have put them up.
Give them breathing room. It wouldn't have been a one-score game at this point after the ensuing touchdown drive.
Sometimes, though, those kicks that are real close like that, from the 2-yard line, those are a little harder than you think.
Oh, yeah. I'm certainly not saying I could do it.
I couldn't either, but
Cole Davis on 3rd and 1 from the 17-yard line. Hands it off to Sutton. He has the first down and more. Across the 15. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Knights. This is a tie ball game in the Taco Shack Bowl.
Well, we got a good one.
Jalen Sutton with a 17-yard touchdown run finds the end zone. We're tied at 20, and the Knights can take the lead with the point-after attempt.
Oh, my goodness. What a game, folks. This series is at 8-8. The tiebreaker of the Taco Bowl with 3:03 in the 4th. They've got a tie ball game with the extra point coming up.
Trinidad De La Garza gets the hold, and he sends that true through the uprights, and the Knights take a 21-20 lead. You tuned into a good one, folks. 3:03 left in the 4th quarter. McCallum 21, Anderson 20.
Wow, that is something else. What a game. What a game to kick this off. The 2018 season right here in downtown Austin. We got a good one, folks. 3:03 remain. Anderson 20 and McCallum 21. And your 17th annual Taco Shack Bowl. These guys are tied, man. Orlando called it right down to the wire, like he said, late in the 4th. He said it'd be a close one. And who better to know or ask about that than Mr. Taco Shack himself, as we've come down here to the last few minutes, and we got a close one in House Park.
Oh, yeah, this has been a great ball game, and, we were talking about it, and going back to that potential field goal that could have potentially made this a 2-point lead for Anderson, and another onside kick. Instead, they're going to go ahead and kick this one as deep as they can. Maybe play it safe, send it high and short, but either way, the Knights playing with house money with the final 3:03 left, and the wind, as it is to the back of Trinidad De La Garza, knocks the ball off the tee. He was going to take a 3-yard charge, again, sends it high and short into space. It bounces at the 20, and it's picked up on the sideline, a tightrope down the left side by Fulmer, and he returns it to the 23-yard line before he stepped out of bounds.
I got to tell you, Karl, had they gone for that kick down there, it'd be 23-21.
Oh, well, can't lament on the past, and now the Trojans will officially start at the 22-yard line, 1st and 10, and it'll be interesting to see if they go back to the starting quarterback, Karsten Groos.
And how many timeouts are left with these teams, Karl?
1st and 10. It's DeBosk, and the quarterback, he passes it after the play action, and it's a Fulmer pickup to the 25 and a pickup of 2 yards. The clock still moves at 2:45. No timeouts left for Anderson, 2 left for the Knights. So the Trojans have to do this without being able to stop the clock at will. Scott DelBosque in the shotgun, drops back, a quick 2-step drop, and he hits a quick out route. The catch made going to Cooper Tyler. It's a first down out to the 33-yard line.
2:31 remaining as DelBosque will try to drive these Trojans
Del Bosque drops back, scans to the left, overthrows his intended receiver. That was Trevor Merrick, and the clock stops at 2:27. On first down, that's okay. That's totally acceptable. They were going for the speed out, and just a little bit of inaccuracy stops the clock at 2:27 and gives the Trojans an opportunity to slow their pace down, because I don't think they are comfortable after working the clock all night running a hurry-up.
Well, that's true, and that's come back to haunt them, running that clock like they did. And now you got to ask, are they in a rhythm? They got to get back in a rhythm quick.
Del Bosque has Givens to his left, 3 receivers to the right, a single receiver on the left side on 2nd and 10. Fires to the left side, and it just overthrown and is intended to target. Trevor Merrick had nobody in front of him. That would have been an easy 6 points. Instead, incomplete goes the pass, 2:22 left.
He had nothing but daylight in front of him there.
3rd and 10 now from the 33. A 1-point lead for McCallum. Play clock is at 20 seconds as the huddle breaks. Del Bosque in the shotgun. Drops back, scans to his right, lobs it up, and it's overthrown for his intended receiver. That was Cooper Tyler, and that brings up 4th down, and this is a do-or-die situation here for the Anderson Trojans. Bragging rights to the lead of the series of the Taco Shack Bowl on the line here on this play. 2:17 left.
And you know, these teams are not in that same district anymore with the realignment this year. Who knows when the next time they'll play?
But still high stakes. Del Bosque in the shotgun, trips to the right. Merrick lined up wide to the left. A blitz coming from the left side, dropping back and under pressure is Del Bosque. He's wrapped up. He'll be brought down. Turnover on downs. McCallum takes over. They have a 1-point lead. And with 2:11 left, they just have to hold on to the football.
Well, and that's why you play the games.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights from the Trojan 30. And handoff, handoff, handoff. No timeouts left for Anderson, so the only way that the clock is going to stop is if, for whatever reason, the Knights decide to pass or run out of bounds and it goes incomplete. Or they pick up a 1st down and they move the chains. But still, it'll be Cole Davis in his first varsity start, trying to pick up the victory out of the shotgun. Hands off to Sutton, who's blown up in the backfield right away. The tackle made by Nathaniel Velez.
Wow, can we get a replay of that one?
Tackle made by number 15, Nathaniel Velez.
It was a loss of about 4 back to the 34-yard line. Clock moving at 1:50, and I think Sutton, despite taking that big hit, is fine with the result because it keeps the clock moving. 15 seconds left on the play clock, and you know they're going to snap it at 1.
Oh, yeah. They got a couple opportunities to get a few snaps off here and just keep that clock running. And
a timeout taken by McCallum at the end of that play clock. So they'll talk things over. You know, they have a couple to burn here. It seems pretty obvious to me. Run play, run play, run play. They're going into the shotgun as they've been most of this ball game, but you know, might even be smart just to make sure that the center and the quarterback are as close to each other as they can to make sure that the handoff works.
That's a game management timeout right there. They're just going to talk about the exchange on this, what they want to do.
You pick up a 1st down, you can take knees to end this game.
Yeah, that's right. Sure can. You can end it with a knee if you get a 1st down. They're just talking about what the next play is going to be.
Still a little bit of hope here for the Anderson Trojans, but the Knights looking to eliminate that hope. And it looks like they're going to go in victory formation. It was a game management situation. Victory formation out of the shotgun, and Davis will wait until he is immediately pressured until he takes the knee. So I guess that's what they were talking about, doing the math. 40 seconds on the play clock. We burn a few seconds with each play, and it's a 3rd and the down all the way back to the 39. They're not interested in picking up the 1st down. They're interested in basically, I guess they're going to punt it away and give themselves plenty of space for the punt.
Well, that's an interesting call. I mean, they could have just they could have done that the previous play and not burned a timeout, but
they might even take the delay of game here and then run again on third down.
That may be what the coaches are thinking, is to take this delay of game and then.
Yeah, a little bit of math being done here. If
it leaves 2 seconds if the.
So yeah, there's the final timeout of the ball game. And again, this is third down, so this is smart management here. It'll probably be the next play, victory formation out of the shotgun snap, and maybe a drop back and then a knee to burn those 3-second difference that they need for the play clock to be the game clock, and then run down to 0.
They can run it down to 0 if they spend 4 seconds on this play, maybe run back a few yards, take a knee. That'll put the play clock under 39 seconds, and they can just run it out. So that's likely the strategy here. Both these teams and coaches playing chess with the clock management tonight's game as we open the 2018 season here at House Park with the Taco Shack Bowl number 18.
And a 21-20 lead, about to be a 21-20 victory. Again, the drop back, he's going to backpedal and take that knee near 50, and Cole Davis has ensured his victory and his first varsity start, and it was a thriller, folks. We're happy you tuned in and watched it on SHN Sports.
Check that.
The final score, the McCallum Knights with a come-from-behind victory in the second half, 21 over the Anderson Trojans, 20.
And that's Taco Shack Bowl 17. I said 18.
Hey, it's now a 9-8 lead for the Anderson Trojans in the Taco Shack Bowl. Excuse me, the McCallum Knights in the Taco Shack Bowl, as it looks like the Trojans had this game well in hand, couldn't quite come up with a victory.
But really a good game, and a great way to kick off the season here on SHN Sports with a great game, close one, 21-20 right here in downtown Austin. Orlando was right, he said it's going to come down to the wire, and he thinks it would be a close one. And what a good victory and a comeback for the McCallum Knights program, and a heartbreak for the Trojans. They played very well, they kept it close, but
what a talented team both teams are. You could tell that they're going to have good seasons based off of this game. I'm fairly confident that they're going to do well.
And a lot of respect for both these teams. You can see that they both respect each other. It's a rivalry game.
They shake hands, and we're going to have a treat as Steven Strong is going to chase down a couple McCallum Knights on a big Thursday night victory.
Yeah, that's a big Thursday night win for these guys, and a great way to kick the season off. I'm excited for tomorrow night. What do you guys got coming up this weekend, Karl?
Well, the Georgetown Eagles and Eastview Patriots will be on SHN all season, and they go ahead and get things rolling tomorrow as the Eagles will go up to Abilene, and the Eastview Patriots will go on down to, they'll be hosting the Westwood Warriors. And
the Eastview team moved to a new district with a realignment, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And I know, so Georgetown won't play Eastview this year for the first time since that school started, that rivalry started. So,
as well as Southwestern football also on for the first time this season.
Yeah, congratulations to you and Rob on that. That's great that you guys are picking up the Southwestern University and those games on Saturday. So you guys are going to be quite busy. I think you said 6 games over a couple of nights, Thursdays through Saturdays.
We can't forget about Gerald. They'll be going up against Whitney, and also Leander played Weiss tonight.
Wow.
So that was a good matchup also on SHN Sports.
Weiss is the new school in Pflugerville.
Yes, that's correct.
That's the new Pflugerville school. So a lot of things changing and moving around with the district shuffling and new teams being added. Schools that were new that had programs that started JV are now up to the senior level, and those programs are now competing.
Austin's so big and growing that you're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, it really is, and it's amazing to see all the reshuffling and things moving around. The district names were the same district names for many years, and now it's 25-5A is now I think 12-5A, and it's just moved around about. Like you said, there's so many new schools. But a very exciting time for Central Texas high school football.
Yeah, well, as you can see on the screen, Coach Thomas Gammerdinger picking up his first victory with the McCallum Knights, and he's giving a great speech probably about, you know, coming back from behind, never giving up in themselves, and just a great victory for the Knights here on the first game of the season.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the season with a comeback like that, going that deep last year with that team. So congratulations to the Knights.
And in a few moments, Steven Strong will go down and interview a couple players as they will have one last breakout before they go in. And hey, there's the Taco Shack trophy.
Oh.
They're going to go ahead and rally around that.
Yeah, they are. That's what it's all about.
So Steven will go ahead and send it down to Steven. Well, he hasn't quite got us. They still need to go ahead and finish up a little bit.
Well, they're going to do a team picture. They called the player back that he was going to talk to for the Taco Shack Bowl victory pitcher at the 40-yard line there. So Steven will have to wait for his interview.
So now that they have the team photo taken care of, Steven will go ahead and...
Who's he talking to?
We'll go ahead and send it down to Steven. Steven, take it away.
Thank you, Karl. I'm here with Ryan Bonesteel, defensive middle linebacker for the Knights. Ryan, this isn't your first Taco Shack Bowl, but it was a thriller. How do you feel?
I feel amazing, you know. Such a crazy comeback in the clutch. I couldn't be happier right now.
Yeah? Is this your first start at middle linebacker for the Knights defense?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you played a heck of a game, man. How are you going to look forward to next week?
Just keep on going, you know. We work harder than everybody else out here. Just keep going, keep on grinding. We're going to be good.
Hey, I appreciate your time and congrats on the win, man. Back to you, Karl.
Ryan Bonesteel still a little out of breath from playing middle linebacker for the Knights, and you know that defense coming up very clutch in the second half, mostly that fourth quarter. Again, we talk about that stop at the goal line, which changed the momentum of this game. And, you know, we said they needed to score quickly. They went ahead and scored quickly, got that big run from Cole Davis down to the opposite side of the field, and then they were able to score quickly on that end around from Darius Lewis, the 17-yard touchdown that made this a 6-point ball game. And then they were able to methodically work after picking up the fumble from the 35, burn a little bit of clock, and also take it into the end zone. And that defense, again, making sure that the Trojans did not retake the lead.
Everything that they needed to have happen, starting with that 2-yard line play, you know, happened for them. And like you said, the big run with Cole and moving the ball, and great job. Is Steve got someone else we're going to go to down there?
Yeah, he's going to go down to Jalen Sutton. So we're going to go ahead and take it away, Steve.
I'm here with Jalen Sutton, running back for the Knights. Hey, man, what a game. Am I right? How do you describe the intensity here down on the field?
When we was down, everybody was like all low, and everybody was like, keep your head up and everything. So everybody just kept their head up, and then we came out with the dub.
You had a few touchdowns tonight. First start at running back, right? Yeah, how does it feel to come out and get things going with that first touchdown and then kind of seal it later in the game?
It feels good, and I feel like I was mentally prepared for it and everything. Everybody else was.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to you earlier in the week. You were ready for this game. How you gonna? How you feel about next week? How you gonna carry this momentum into next week?
We're gonna keep on pushing, working hard, and practicing everything. Coach G's gonna make the defense right and everything. We're gonna come out the dub next week too.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the win. Good luck.
Thank you, Steven. That was awesome. Glad to get a couple interviews down there, and post-game victory from a victorious Knights team. And as they were saying, they were down on themselves, but they were able to dig deep and come back and pick up the victory and take this one 21-20 over the Anderson Trojan. The McCallum Knights victorious. And what a great way to start the football season.
Hey, for going that deep last year in the season and then kicking off a victory here in the Taco Shack Bowl. They got bragging rights for a whole another year on this deal, and congrats to this team. We look to see what these guys are capable of doing the rest of the season, but a great win tonight for the Knights. Yes, a tremendous way to start the season and kind of a devastating way for the Trojans to start the season. As the Knights pick up the victory, they improve to 1-0. The Trojans fall to 0-1, and that's a great way to start the SHN Austin ISD Game of the Week, too. So, hey, happy to have you along, Russell.
Oh, thanks for a lot. I look forward to it. And yeah, well, we're doing another game later this season, so I wish you guys the best. And, yeah, good stuff, man. Happy to be a part of it, man.
Well, for Russell Dowden, I'm Karl, and Stephen Strong, I'm Karl Schoening. Thank you for tuning in to SHNSports.com. Once again, your final score, the McCallum Knights come back from down 20-7 in the fourth quarter to pick up the first victory of the season, 21-20.